your own profitable online course in the next 30 days. My name's Ryan Bonhart. We'll get started here in just 1 second. I want to make sure this is all working just because we had a couple of technical difficulties here. So I want to make sure it's all working for you guys. So give me 1 second here, and sorry for taking long. I need to refresh my page here to make sure that it is working. Okay, so looks like it is working here. Cool. So let me, you are not seeing anything, please refresh page. All right, so just to make sure this is working and everything's good, just go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and one thing you're looking to get from this webinar. And that way we can know that it's working, that you can hear me, and that I know exactly what you guys are looking to get out of it, and we can make this the best experience for you guys as well. I'm really excited for this. I'm also pretty new to this, so if I stumble, just help me out, interact with me, and we'll have a great time today. You're going to learn a ton of stuff, I promise. So I'm just going to wait on some of y'all's responses here because I don't see them come in. That way I know you guys can hear me. All right, still not seeing anything. All right, Delisa, can you hear me? And I'm assuming no one else has, but we're not getting much response here in the chat. Raphael, Jeff, Rebecca. Awesome. All right, very nice. So we do have, all right, so let's just go ahead and go forward with it. Delisa, go ahead and whoever else can hear me, just go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. You know, tell us your name, where you're from, and what is one thing you're looking to get out of this webinar. We'll get started here in just a second. That way, we're gonna have a great time. This is an awesome webinar. Still learning, so if I stumble a little bit, you know, forgive me, but we got tons of cool stuff to share with you today and strong stuff. So again, Julissa, just introduce yourself, where you're from, and what's one big thing you're looking to get out of the webinar. I'm working with our developers behind the scenes in case you guys can't hear me. Oh, nice. Awesome, Julissa. And I'm wondering what is going on. Why can no one else hear us? You have the golden ticket. I'm talking with the developers over here just to make sure, trying to get everything. Okay, beautiful. Nice. There we go. We have people coming in. Love it. Okay. And every once in a while, a couple of stragglers are coming late. All right, guys, so we're going to get started right now. Sorry for the delay here. Welcome to 7 Steps to Launch Your Own Profitable Online Course in the Next 30 Days. If you are just coming in, go ahead and do like Jaleesa, say, you know, where you're from, what your name is, which is obvious because we ask you your name whenever you type it in, but then also, you know, what you're looking to get out of this hour-long session here today. And I'm really excited for this. This is, well, I'll tell you more about it here. Let's just go ahead and get started here. So here we go. Without further ado, let's load it all up and get started. All right, so once again, my name is Ryan Bonhart, and this is called 7 Steps to Launch Your Own Online Course in the Next 30 Days or Less. And I need to share my screen with you. Yeah, I told you I'm still learning here. So be nice to me. Boom. Present to everyone. And boom, there we go. 7 steps to launch your own online course in the next 30 days or less. Guys, like I said before, I'm pretty new to this, but we're going to have a great time. There's tons of powerful stuff in here. And hopefully by the end of this, you're going to walk away. And what's amazing about this webinar is when I do it each week, I've been watching Encore do it now. I'm finally getting to do it myself. But each week, we have a couple people that walk away and they get their first pre-sale that night. So that's how I kind of base the success in this webinar. So I'm hoping a couple of you on this call today will have that same exact success. And 2 quick things, you know, I want to give you as much as I can in these next 60 minutes. So I'm going to talk pretty fast. We will give you a replay so you can watch it at your own pace later if I'm going too fast. And then 2, people do say I have a Southern accent. I am from Florida, or what we call, well, I'm from North Florida, what we call LA, Lower Alabama. So if you can get past that, I got tons of amazing stuff for you guys today. This is a very powerful webinar, and it's always fun to do. So if you're on this call and you're like, man, am I in the right spot? This workshop, this webinar will be perfect for you if you're a blogger, a creative, a freelancer, or a consultant. If you're just getting started online and want to create your own online business, Jaleesa, that's for you. If you're looking to grow your audience and your credibility or monetize an audience you already have, or if you're looking to grow your business while also helping a lot of people and making an impact. And I'll go more into that later. And my big promise to you is that in the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn exactly how to launch your own signature online course in the next 30 days using our simple 7-step process. So how are we going to do that? Here's the game plan. So I always like to have game plans first. We're going to go over why creating your own online course is one of the easiest ways to generate income and grow your audience and credibility. And we're going to go through a 7-step process that anyone can use to discover a profitable course idea and start generating money from their course in the next 30 days. We're going to go in how to get your online course up online in an hour or less without any of the technical headaches, right? That's some of the problems. We've all used I've used different platforms, different plugins, and that's part of the problem. Or try to build my own online, school, and that's part of the problem. The technical headaches, it's not worth it. But now I'm going to show you how to get your online course up in less than an hour. Then we're going to go through real life case studies of regular people who have generated thousands of dollars per month from their online courses. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can take these strategies and tactics that you learn here today and use them to start creating your profitable online course this week. Sound good to you guys? Sound like a plan? Give me a yes, hell yes, sure, let's get started, and all that good stuff, just so I know you guys are interacting with me and we can keep moving forward. So anytime you see me switch screens, I'm just coming over here to look at y'all's chat and make sure you guys are still with me here, because the more we can interact together, the better this webinar is going to be. So give me some feedback here. I can see you. I like that name. There we go. Tammy says, we are ready from Seattle. Jaleesa, yes. All right, cool. So let's get started. All right, guys, here's what I want you to do. I want you to actually take notes, right? First off, I want to thank you for taking your time being here with us today. Your time is a very valuable asset, and that's not lost on me. And I greatly appreciate, that you're taking time out of your day to be here with me today. So in return of that, I'm going to give you some powerful stuff. So I want you to actually take notes, whether it's the best thing is to, take out your workbook and write in it, right? If you want to take notes outside of the workbook, that's great too. Then what I want you to do is at the end, right? I want you to post a picture of your notes on Twitter and tag @TeachableHQ, right? And then we'll give you a nice little gift for attending and for being attentive and take notes. And the reason why we want you to do this is because we know how valuable this stuff is, and we want you guys to, remember it, retain it, and take action on it. So take notes, follow along in the workbook, post a picture of your notes on Twitter, and tag @TeachableHQ, and we'll send you a nice little gift. So real quick, before we get started, I just want to know more about you guys on this call. Have you already created your own online course? Yes, no. I think we just put that maybe in there to mess with you guys. Maybe you're in the middle, right? You're in the process of, but have you created your own online course? You got a no in here. No, no. No. All right, looks like we have a lot of no's. All right, cool. So we're going to go through this, and that's great. You're going to get a ton of value out of today's call. So let's go ahead and keep on trucking. Beautiful. So if you're like, who is this guy on the end of this call? I've already said my name is Ryan Bonhart. I was the founder of MakerBased, and at MakerBased, we were dedicated to teaching coding through online courses. So I've created more than two profitable online courses and personally taught more than 80,000 amazing students. I am also an instructor at $1 Million Instructor, a flagship online course that has taught 400 plus regular people how to create their own profitable online courses. And last but not least, I work with VIP instructors at Teachable. So when I was teaching online, I didn't like any of the other platforms out there that I had tried. I tried to build my own solution. I messed around with WordPress plugins, all that stuff, and eventually came across Teachable and fell in love with it and sold it to all the people I know teaching online. So eventually our founder Encore asked me to come on board and couldn't be happier. And now we are actually used by over 7,000 instructors, and we still have, over 1 million students just in the last year alone. So I'm really proud of that here at Teachable. So before we get started, why online courses? So I like to tell my story here, and I'll make it short and sweet, especially since we started a little late today. But first off, I learned how to code. I had this idea where I knew that I didn't like the resources out there, so I wanted to make better resources, right? And right at that time, I was working with different schools here in the Tallahassee area, so I started creating camps where people could come in, meetings during the night where people could come in, and I'd teach them all about different coding languages, yada, yada, all that good stuff, right? Well, one thing I quickly learned is that by teaching in a physical setting, we could only go as fast as the slowest person in the class, right? So I initially had this idea to put my videos online, have them watch the videos, and then come in and ask me questions in person, kind of flip the classroom. So I did that, and it worked great, right? People were able to watch the videos at their own pace, and they'd come in and ask me questions, and we could work on it. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I started putting courses online that way. Then I was like, I'm only teaching 20 to 30 people at a time. I want to teach more. So I eventually came across that people were doing online courses at the time. This is about 3 years ago actually, and put it online, and all of a sudden my course just explodes. I teach thousands of people, and it's just awesome to me that you can affect, because I constantly get, positive reviews, people saying like, I had one the other week where someone was like, you changed my life this past year. I took your course, and then, I was in communication with you. You told me about other courses to take, and now I have a job. I've moved into my own place, all this. So it's an amazing feeling to be able to affect positively that many lives. So for me, that's why I love online courses. Very similar to why Teachable was created. And you'll notice in here it says, armed with $2 million, Fedora hopes to create the next $1 million teachers. Well, we used to be called Fedora. Literally, our founder on course says he pulled the name out of a hat. Fedora is a name for a hat. That's where it came from. But now we are Teachable. So everyone here at Teachable has their unique story of why they love online courses, but the commonality is that we do all love online courses, and we've committed to this, and we're armed with $2 million, more than that now, to create the next $1 million teachers, right? That's what we truly believe in, the power of online courses. Now they can change so many people's lives, right? So we got started about 18 months ago, and we've hit a lot of growth in the last year. And what's cool to me really is just when I first came on to Teachable, I had the idea for hard skills, right? And I figured that's all that people taught was hard skills. What's really cool is that I've realized all types of people teach on Teachable, as well as they teach tons of different things. So we have everything from more soft skills, like the foundations of card magic. Assad teaches, he's successful. You have Angela Fair creating watercolor painting classes, right? And then you have, some big names, best-selling authors like Ryan Holiday in his Growth Hacker marketing course, and James Altucher with his Choose Yourself. He's working on a Choose Yourself course now, as well as James is also an investor at Teachable that he loves it so much. And then the big thing with me also is that, we even had these two regular guys, John and Elliot. This is 2014, so 2 years ago now, right? They came on and started teaching iOS programming, teaching, people how to build iPhone apps, all that good stuff. And just between the two of them, they made over $2 million in 1 year, right? $1 million each. And they had no special skills. They weren't even, I'll get into more of that later, but they weren't even pros themselves, but they were great teachers, just regular people. And then of course we do have, a handful of big names on the platform like Lewis Howes, Mariah Coase, Jessica Sprague, people that you've heard of, David Kadavi, all that good stuff. But the big thing to me is that most of the people being successful is just like John and Elliot, right? They're regular people that have this desire to teach online. And what's real cool is that as a team, we've been able to watch over 12,000 course launches, which is, I think, incredible myself. 12,000 course launches, when you actually wrap your head around, that's so many courses, awesome, teaching all types of things, right? And throughout these launches, we have access to the hard data for all of our schools. So we can see everything today, right? Like what schools are selling the most today, what topics are selling the most today, right? We can see all that stuff. And even better than that is we've been able to establish relationships with our top instructors. So we go in, talk to them, find out what works for them, what doesn't work. And we've put together this commonality. We've come to this pretty incredible conclusion that all these successful launches, out of the 12,000 launches, the ones that have been the most successful, all involve these key ingredients, right? Like they all look different. They're all different in their own way, but they all involve these same key ingredients. So we've come up with, that there's this one tried and true tested method for building and launching your course. So of those 12,000 launches, of our 5,000 plus teachers, the most successful all use essentially the same 7-step process, right? They have their own flavor and flair about it, but they have these 7 common ingredients, these 7-step process. And today what we're gonna do is I want to walk you exactly through that 7-step process. So right now, I think it's gonna be awesome. So how does that sound to everybody? Cool with you guys? I'm excited. I think this stuff's incredible. Give me a yes. We're ready to go. Stop talking. Let's get started. I love the dude on the skateboard. Whatever you want to say. I just want to know you're there, following along, and we're going to have a great time and learn a ton of stuff here. So I'm going to switch over. Nice, awesome slides. Yes, yes, yes. There we go, Jackson. Get involved. I love it. All right, cool. So with the 7-step process, here are the 7 steps. The 7 simple steps to creating and selling a profitable online course. Step number 1, find your profitable course idea. And I'm gonna be up front right now. This is a very important step, and we're gonna spend a lot of time on this section, but I think you're gonna walk away extremely happy with it. Step number 2, price your course the right way and set your income goals. If Encore was here with me, I'd have him jump on that. Step number 3, create and record your course content the easy way. I love this step because I think you're gonna be blown away at what seems to be hard, but can be broken down in such an easy, simple process to create and record awesome course content. Step number 4, get your school online so it's real, even if you have 0 technical skills. Step number 5, pre-sell your course to test demand. I don't want you lifting a finger before you know that people want your course. I don't want you to waste time, right? Step number 6, build an initial interest list for your course. And then finally, step number 7, generate your first course sales. So there you have it, the 7 steps. And we're gonna get started with step number 1 right now, but first I want to go over a couple reasons. I want to hit this home, why we love online courses and why online courses are amazing, right? I gave you my reason earlier, but I'm going to go into more reasons, right? Reason number one, you can make an extra $1,000 on the side or even replace your full-time income with your online course. It's totally up to you, right? You just want to make a couple thousand, or you want to do full-time income with your online course, you can do it, and it's scalable, right? Like you do that upfront work, depending on how much work you want to do up front, how much money you want to make, and then it's scalable. There's no more, there's minimal added time investment per money made, right? So you have everything like Angela, she's an incredible mom, awesome artist who teaches watercolor paintings. All she wanted to do is make a couple $1,000s. She actually ended up making like $8,000 to $10,000 per month teaching online, but all she wanted to do is make a couple extra $1,000s, right? And then you have, of course, these big wigs like David Kadavi, Josh Payne. These guys all make 6 to 7 figures, and they want to replace their full-time income, right? So it's completely up to you. You can go everything from a couple thousand to your full-time income. It's up to you, and it can be built up. Reason number two, everyone has unique and valuable expertise to share. Yes, I really do think that means you. Everyone has their own unique things they've learned that they can share with someone else. We think everyone can be a teacher in their own right, and the power of online courses is just this power of sharing your experiences with others so that they can learn from you. Reason number three, if you do the hard work up front, then your course becomes an asset. Courses are high leverage. In other words, when I first started teaching online, I worked hard. I at the time was really committed. So I was working like 12 hours a day. I'm not going to lie. 12 hours a day for like a month or 2 months, which is great. You can extend that across months. But I also didn't have what I'm about to show you today. I was learning everything on my own, trial and error, right? So a lot of this can be fast-tracked from learning from people that have already been there. But then once I was done for those 2 months, I'm still making money today. So it's what, 2-3 years later since my course launched, and I'm still making over $1,000, $2,000 a month, not even touching my course every day. So do that hard work up front, and your course is high leverage. It becomes an asset after that. Reason number four, establish you as the authority and helps you grow your audience. So one thing is people are constantly scared of the imposter syndrome, right? And I'm going to go into more of that later. Like you're scared, like people are going to find you out, like you're not a real teacher, all this stuff. You're not a pro. And I'm going to tell you why all that's not true here in a little bit. But that's what I was scared of, right? In actuality, when you teach online, the exact opposite happens. So in other words, I was no pro I wasn't like a front-end web developer, right? Although that's what I was teaching. I had just learned it recently, and I thought I could teach it better than the pros that were out there already teaching it because they were disconnected from what beginners wanted to learn, right? They didn't know. They forgot what it was like to be a beginner. So I taught my courses online, and I was so scared when I first launched it, but people loved it, like great reviews. People were happy. And what actually happened is I became the authority and, grew my audience through teaching online. In other words, I got asked to teach last year at a conference to teach teachers how to teach this stuff. So I got flown out to California, got to teach for a week at this conference and teach a ton of high school and college professors how to teach this stuff. So I was established as an authority in this field just through my online course, which is an incredible byproduct that I never even thought of when I first started teaching. Reason number five, you get to help a ton of people at the same time. So this is where, again, online courses are incredible because they're high leverage and you're helping a ton of people. Like, I've taught over 80,000 people, which when you think about it is more than universities, right? It's more than universities have students, which is incredible to know that you've taught that many people, and more specifically, just that you've helped them. It doesn't matter that you've taught them, but that someone's helped them, and you get these reviews from people saying, you've changed my life. Thank you so much. You've taught me this, and I think that alone is worth it. Reason number 6, 15 days. What the heck is 15 days? In 15 days, you can get results, right? Teacher entrepreneurs can often make their first course sales in the first 1 to 2 weeks. I'm going to challenge some of you guys to do it tonight, to get a pre-sale tonight, okay? And then we don't have the number, and the reason why is because we didn't even see this coming when we we're putting these slides together. These are a new slide. So Encore was doing this same webinar, a joint one with Jessica Sprague, and she talked about this. You build a community and get to meet / work with cool people. So Jessica Sprague teaches online scrapbooking. I didn't even know that was a thing, but she kills it. She has something like 80,000 students, and every year she has this Sprague Fest where people come, I think she lives in North Carolina, to North Carolina, hangs out with her, and they all talk about online scrapbooking, right? You get to build this community, meet like-minded people, meet and work with cool people. All right, so you have all the reasons. Let's get started and let's dive into the meat and potatoes. So step number 1 is to find your most profitable course idea. And when you're trying to find your most profitable course idea, everyone falls into one of 3 categories, right? So which one are you? Number 1, I'm excited but have no idea what I want my course to be and don't know where to start. 2, I have an idea of what I want my course to be about. Now I need help refining my idea. Or category number 3, I have a lot of ideas for courses and just need to figure out which one is my most profitable course idea. So just put in chat, are you 1, 2, or 3? You can literally just put the number. I was definitely a 2. I have an idea of what I want my course to be about. Now I need help refining my idea. Except when I first got started, I was so stubborn. And this is why I was working 12 hours a day, because I didn't want to listen to other people, where I was like, I'm teaching this and I'm teaching this and I'm going to be successful. So what are you, 1, 2, or 3? Toss it in there for me. All right, we have 3, 1, 3, 3. Jaleesa says 1 through 3, or maybe 1 and 3. I'm not really sure, but I love it. All right, 3s and 1s, so no 2s, huh? All right. Tammy says 3, I like it. Okay, cool. All right. So, and again, like this is where we talked about earlier, right? Where there's tons of things you can teach online, right? You can teach everything from hard skills to soft skills. You know, for Angela here, we've talked about her in the past, but Angela's a great artist and she knows how to watercolor. She's good at it, and she wanted to help other people learn how to watercolor too. So she created an online course to show people how to watercolor. She created the course real quick, started doing some smaller promotions, and the results were that there were people that wanted to learn how to watercolor. Now she makes, thousands of dollars a month teaching watercolor, which I think that's so cool, teaching something that she really enjoys, and she gets, a nice chunk of change, extra thousands of dollars every month. And then of course, again, you have, the hard skills, right? You have John and Elliot teaching iOS and Android development, and they had over $2 million in course sales, right? You have all types of, profitable course ideas. So I don't want you to limit yourself in a box thinking it can only be hard skills like I did in the beginning, or maybe, that your topic, won't work. It's crazy to see all the successful different topics on there. And we're going to show you how to test and see if the topic you have is profitable. Everything from, teaching card magic, teaching gardening, online scrapbooking, cartooning, marketing, Ryan Leslie, how to get in the music business, Charlie, how to get a job you love, how to negotiate a raise, watercolor painting, all that good stuff. So how do you find your profitable course idea? And this is, where it comes into play with what category you are, because I'm going to show you exactly at this point how to find your profitable course idea, right? So here's the questions we're going to ask yourself. And I want you guys to have the workbook out now and be filling this in, right? Take action now. So to come up, what we want to do is we want to come up with like, let's aim for 8 to 10. Let's aim for 8 to 10 possible profitable course ideas. Say that 5 times fast. And we're going to come up with these ideas right now. So to figure out these possible profitable course ideas, I want you to ask yourself these questions. What are you good at or passionate about? And remember, again, be writing these down in the workbook right now, right? Take action right now. What are you good at or passionate about? I think this is huge. If there's something that you're passionate about, that you love studying, you love learning, even if you're not an expert at it, right? I'm going to talk to you about that again here in a second. But put that down. This is great. If you're passionate about something, that's incredible. Number 2, what are you already interested in? Okay? This kind of goes with 1. What are you already interested in? Number 3, what have you done? What jobs have you had? What skills do you have? What hobbies do you spend time on? So for each of those, put in like 2 to 3 ideas that immediately come to mind with that question. Other things I like to say is, what is something recently you learned that you struggled at learning? If you struggle at learning something but learned it, that's awesome, because you can relate to all the road bumps, the speed bumps, and all the troubles you had in learning it. You can relate to other beginners that have those same exact troubles, and you can teach them how to overcome those troubles, right? If you struggle at something, you've been there in the hard work, the lab, learning how to beat it. You can teach others how to do it, okay? Add that to it as well. What have you learned recently, that you struggled at learning? Or have you learned something recently where you were like me and you're like, man, I just learned this and there are not good resources out there that you can do better, right? So while you're putting in those answers, so you're coming up with your profitable course ideas, I want to go over a couple myths, all right? Myth number one, I have a ton of things that I'm passionate about, but I just don't feel like I have any ideas where I'm enough of an expert that I can sell an online course on the topic, right? You got our boy Leo from Catch Me If You Can, the con artist. So this is what we call the imposter syndrome, right? Or the expert myth. So let's look first off at, what is an expert really? According to the dictionary, expert is having or showing special skill or knowledge because of what you have been taught or what you have experienced. It gives no proprietary, like you have to be at this many hours, of knowledge or expertise in this area. And I argue that experts actually usually aren't the best to teach anyways. Here's why. Have you ever tried to learn from like an expert, say like, we'll just go with like an expert guitar player, right? And they're trying to teach you like all this crazy stuff, and you're like, dude, I don't even know how to hold the guitar right yet. Or I don't even know the first string to hold right yet, right? Experts sometimes are so detached from what it feels like to be a beginner that they don't know the pain points to hit on. So this is where it really helps to just, be the expert in the sense of having or showing special skill or knowledge because what have you been taught? What have you learned recently? What have you experienced recently? And you can connect with the beginners. So just like with John and Elliot, they weren't, or myself, right? None of us, myself and them included, didn't have any jobs in coding. Like they weren't developers, right? They weren't even like, they didn't even have apps that they had built out on the store. They had just learned how to build iOS apps, and they struggled through it so much that they were like, we can teach people how to do this, right? So they tested it out. They put it out there, and people absolutely loved the way they taught because they had been through their struggles and they knew exactly what troubles beginners went through and they could relate to them. So I don't want you to ever think, that you have to be some mythical expert, right? If you can teach people, all you have to do to be a successful teacher is what we call the Urkel Effect. Provide a transformation for your students. If you can take your students from point A of, not knowing something to point B of the transformation, right? So for John and Elliot's case, if you can take them from the point of not knowing how to develop iPhone apps to knowing how to build iPhone apps, that's all that matters. All you have to do is provide a transformation for the students. And we love to call the Urkel Effect. I think Andrew, our head of growth, coined this because it's so visually easy to remember, right? You got Goofy Urkel, even though I do love his suspenders over here on the left, and then you got Rico Suave, nice muscular Urkel over here. Provide that transformation. All you have to do is take them from point A to point B. So let's look at, transformation can be a hard word to wrap your head around. So let's look at some examples of transformation. So great one here, Charlie Hone, how to land a job you love, right? How to take control of your life, earn good money doing work that's fun, and make friends with powerful people. How to land a job you love. So what's going to happen in this course? I'm going to go from either not having a job or maybe having a job I don't like to having a job that I love, right? Going through Charlie's course. Transformation number 2 with Kimberly Snyder, 30-Day Detox Express, your joyful lifestyle designed for rapid and effortless weight loss. So, and that's another great thing. Transformations, a lot of times, I like to put in time frames, right? Like with my course, it was learn how to build beautiful websites in less than 30 days or in less than 20 hours. I don't know, I tested it a lot. So in less than a certain amount of time, right? In 30 days, you're gonna go from A to B, right? So you're gonna detox and you're gonna have rapid and effortless fat loss in 30 days. Transformation number 3, Learn how to create digital scrapbooks in 30 days. This is as simple as it gets, right? Jessica Sprague is going to teach you how to create digital scrapbooks in 30 days. So right now you don't know how to create digital scrapbooks. In 30 days, you're going to know how to create digital scrapbooks. So these are the transformations you want to concentrate on giving your students a transformation. All right, quick question. I want to ask you guys, because I want to crush this myth as well, is poll. True or false? Just write true or false in the comments. The more information you teach in your course, the more valuable your course is. True or false? The more information you teach in your course, the more valuable your course is. What do we got? Don't be afraid to get it wrong. False, false, false. There we go. Any trues? We got one true. All right, guys. So the answer here is false, right? And here's why. A good online course simplifies things and cuts through the information to find what's important. An online course is a shortcut to an outcome, and there's value in simplifying, aggregating, and helping people sort through the noise. So we're in the information age, right? Tons of information flying all over the place. It's not that we don't have a lack of information. It's we don't have the time to curate the information into something impactful, right? So that's your job as the instructor. So it is false. The more information you teach in your course is not make your course more valuable. I want a shortcut to an outcome. So imagine yourself as like a taxi driver, right? You're taking them from point A to point B. You want to get them there as fast as possible. You don't want to put in added fluff, all that good stuff. No, you want to get them there as fast as possible. Someone who's amazing at this, embodies both of these last two myths we talked about, is Tim Ferriss, right? He wasn't an expert chef. He wasn't an expert personal trainer, right? But he can take these concepts, decompress or compress them and deconstruct, and compress them into great, paths for his readers to learn fast, right? How to become a chef, right? And in that, he also teaches how to learn, very meta there. The 4-hour body, right? He talks a lot about the 80-20 principle. Just focus on that 20% that gets you to the results, right? Do that as a teacher as well. You don't have to be an expert. Just get them to the transformation in the fastest time possible. So to find your profitable course idea, let's go through it, right? Step number 1, write down the topics you're passionate about, skills you have, things you've done, things you know, experiences in. This should be in your workbook right now, right? Then step number 2, I want you to figure out the outcome you're going to provide your students, the transformation you're going to have. So to move on to step number 2, just to save you time and cognitive load, I want you to take from step number 1, when you have the 8 to 10 ideas, right? I want you to take the top 3, right? And I want you to figure out what the transformation would be, for this student in that course. And then to narrow it down to the one you're going to test, I want you to choose the most impactful transformation, bonus points that you're extremely passionate about that transformation, right? Choose the most impactful transformation, and that's how you have your profitable course idea, at least the one we're going to test. Step number 2, right, is to price your course the right way and set your income goals. So price your course and plan your revenue target. So real quick, just want to get to know, who's in this course. What are your monthly incomes goals for your online courses? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? I would say for me in the beginning, it was C. Just put A, B, C, D, or E. And then for me in the beginning, it was C because I felt if I made that much in the situation I was living in at the time, I could be happy living on that money, and it would increase, free time for me to figure out, what else I wanted to work on, whether it's more courses or what else, right? So A, B, C, D, or E. Let's see what we got here. We got, Tammy says E. I like it, Tammy. Ambition. All right, C, D, B. So we have a little bit of everything. Nice. Love it. All right, so no matter what goal we're looking to get to, it's much easier when you price your course in what we call the Rolls Royce Effect. The best way to hit your revenue target is to use premium pricing, aka the Rolls Royce Effect. So premium pricing, right? We don't want to compete on price. We want to compete on value, right, with our students. So when you use premium pricing for your course, a few things will happen. One, it's easier to hit our income goals because we don't have to make very many sales. Two, your students get better results. And three, your students are more fun to work with and easier. And 2 and 3 go together really well. In other words, students get better results because they're more invested in your course. If someone's paying $5 or $20 for a course, they're not that invested into it, right? It's easy to toss that money out the window and then never come back to it. If they're paying $300, $200, $400, $500, $1,000 for your course, then they're more invested in it. It means they really want to take that course. They want to get results. And then this kind of goes along. I first learned about this from Tim Ferriss, actually, in the 4-Hour Workweek, when he told me when I was learning like testing a muse, you know, and he said, you know, don't price anything under $50 because it's just not worth the customers you get. There's something about, you know, higher pricing where you just get better customers, right? They're more thankful, they're more grateful for what you deliver them, and they're less maintenance. So I promise you this, I've made this mistake myself. I originally, you know, wanted to price my course at like $25 and just got lucky enough to do a test where I went all the way up to $100 and saw that, you know, actually I stuck with the $100 and then eventually I moved it up to $200. So what I want to do actually real quick before we even, you know, talk through this exercise is I want you guys, Encore loves to do this exercise. I absolutely love it. I want you guys to commit to selling it more. So what I want you to do right now is whatever income, whatever target pricing you had in mind, I want you to double it. So I want you to put it in the chat and say, I will charge 2x, and say you want to charge $50, right? I want you to put in the chat, I will charge $100 for my course. If you were looking to charge $200, I want you to charge $400 for my course. And this is actually not that big of a change, so go ahead and put it in now, right? I'll put it in with you. I will charge $200 for my course. All right, and this is, there we go, Paolo, I love it. And this is actually not that big of a change because I've had people tell me whatever I think I should charge 10x, 4x, right? And 4x, 8x was actually the right thing for me because I wanted to charge $25 for my course. I ended up charging $200 for my course. So 8x, there we go, Jackson, I will charge $250 for my course. I love it, guys. So other than the benefits that we just went over, is it's just easy math, right? Like if you were looking to charge $20 for your course and you wanted to hit $1,000 a month, you'd be having to do 50 sales a month, right? Versus if you're selling $500 for your course, you only have to make 2 sales. The way I look at that is sales per day, right? If you're doing 50 sales a month, then you're doing almost 2 sales a day that you have to make sure you get, right? Versus 500, you can invest more time. All you have to do is get like 1 sale every 2 weeks, right? Then of course, it expands even more when you go up to even more month. If you want to make $3,000 a month, say you're doing $20 a course, right? You're having to sell it, what, 150 times? So you're having to make like, geez, don't make me do this math, like 7 or 8 sales a day, right? Versus 500, you just make 6 sales. So that's, you know, that's 1 every 5 days, right? All right, so premium pricing. We don't want to compete on price. Step number 3, create and record your course content the easy way. So recording your course content the easy way. So it's all good. We have an idea. We have a price. You know, everybody wants to make money. But then you get to this slide, get to this part where you have to create your course content. And you're like, Brian, this just sounds like a lot of work, right? And people fade out. They kind of fade away. They don't want to put the work in. It just sounds like a lot. It's too much stress. I don't know how to create a good course. You know, this is too much weight on my shoulders. I'd rather eat those cookies than carry them, right? But I have good ideas, or good news. I'm going to show you exactly the easiest way to create your course content. So this is how we do it, right? This is how I do it. Create your course outline. So here's the deal. You have your transformation, right? And I want you to write this on your, you know, you're doing this in the workbook. For me, I like to write it on I have a whiteboard in my room. I want you to write, you know, ground 0 on the left, right? Or you can just put a big 0 and circle it. Then I want you to write, or you can do this as an outline, right? The transformation. What is the transformation that you're promising them all the way to the right? So for me, when I was doing my course, it was how to build a beautiful website with HTML5 and CSS3, right? And I want you to write down the big steps in that transformation. What steps do I need to get them to learn? What big skills do I need to get them to learn to make that transformation, right? So I want you to write down those steps. And what I want you to do is keep it 6 to 12 modules, okay? And then each module have lessons. So you have those steps, right? Say we have 6 steps. Then I want you to do the same thing for each step. And that's how you create your lectures. So your sections or your modules are going to be initial big steps. And then for each big step, right? So let's take an example. Charlie Hone has his course, Land a Job You Love. And we worked on the course together. And he came up with these 6 steps, right? And he actually made an acronym for them called stages. Step number 1 was showcase. Step number 2 was target. Step number 3 was audit. Step number 4 was gift. 5 was execution. And 7 was, I can't remember what 7 was. It started with an S. But it had to do with getting paid. It had to do with getting paid for it all at the end, right? What the heck was 7? Anyways, so step number 1, showcase, right? The big thing with showcase was creating a resume that people actually looked at and worked. In other words, creating your own personal website. And so to do that, we had to break that module, right? We took them from not knowing how to make a website to knowing how to make a their own personal website that actually converted, right? So we had to take them through steps of how to do that. First of all, what software should they use to easily make it, right? So they don't need to know any coding. Second of all, like what should they include in this website? 3, how should they structure it, right? So those were the steps. So to go over this one more time, when you're creating your course, and this makes it so simple to me, when you're creating your course, I want you to go from ground zero to the transformation you promised them and come up with 6 to 12 steps, right? Then for each step, I want you to do the same thing, from ground zero to knowing that skill and what steps are involved to get there. And those steps, those sub-steps are your lectures. The bigger steps are your modules or your sections, okay? Then how do you create content? This is easy. It's all up to you, right? You can create like slides with your voiceover. You can do that easily through PowerPoint or Keynote. If you want to do like, you can even do screen capture if you're doing like hard skills, or you can do filming, like, maybe you're doing where you have to show stuff like watercolor painting or I don't know, martial arts or something like that, right? And we have this awesome gift of how to set up your own professional studio on a budget, which I'll show you how to get that later for free. Other content ideas are like interviews. Interviews with experts are always incredible. You can put together cheat sheets, case studies, supporting materials, all that good stuff. But this like, I don't want you to feel like this stuff has to be perfect, right? Because this is where people start getting nervous. Like in the beginning, when I created my videos, I did screen capture and I would mess up, right? Like I would go through like I'm saying a story, and I've gotten better at it, obviously, now, like I'm doing this webinar. But you'll notice in the webinar, every once in a while I stumble, right? I say, or I forget where I'm at, or I just have a different idea come up. But I'm not going to stop and start over. Like that's fine, as long as I'm getting you to this transformation. This webinar in and of itself is a transformation, right? Teaching you these 7 simple steps. So I want you to think of it as the same way when you're teaching. Like if you stumble a little bit, that's fine. Like whenever you have a problem, ask yourself, is this taking away from getting my students to the transformation? So like if you think your slides aren't beautiful enough, right? Your slides have to be understandable and somewhat organized and structured, but they don't need to be absolutely gorgeous. Like they don't need to be as beautiful as all the slides we have right on this presentation. Or like me in the beginning, whenever I did the screen capture, if I said or whatever, I would stop it, re-record, and then whenever I would try to split it together, edit it together, I would make sure like literally where the mouse was on the screen lined up during the cuts. Like I thought that mattered. That stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't get your students the transformation. It's all about the content in there. So don't worry about the small stuff. That takes a lot of pressure off your back. People doing it the first time think that their course has to be perfect. Your course doesn't have to be perfect. It's always a work in progress. I've constantly update my courses with feedback from my students. And if a lesson sucks, then I redo it, which is which is rare. I don't want you to think you're doing it all the time, but I don't want you to think you have to create the perfect course before you ship it. Step number 4, how to get your school online so it's real, even if you have zero technical skills. So get your course website online so it's real. So what criteria do we want in our, in this and what we use to put our course online? So we've narrowed it down to 5 things we want. Number 1, we want it to be absolutely beautiful, and I want to be able to create it in less than an hour, even if I have zero technical expertise, right? Seems like a lot, but it's possible. Absolutely beautiful. And I want it to be able to create in less than an hour, even if I have zero technical expertise. Step number 2, I want to be able to have the domain name for my course available. So for me, it was, I think it was makerbased.com, right? I don't want to have it on someone else's site. I want it at mycourse.com. Step number 3, I want my course website to be mobile optimized so that it looks good on every device. So in other words, right now I think almost 50% or maybe more than 50% of people are learning on mobile devices, right? So we want our site to look good on that. We don't want them just to be able to access it on a laptop or computer, right? 4, I want total control over my students. And we say versus Udemy here. Udemy's great, but it's a marketplace. You don't have control of your students. You can't contact them whenever you want. You're simply putting your site up or your course on someone else's site, and they have 100% control. So I want to own my audience, right? I want to be able to build a following, an audience out of this. I want to be able to hit my students whenever I want with emails, with educational stuff, right? I want to own my students. Number 5, I want to be able to accept payments on day 1. All right, so I'll let you in on a little secret here, and I'm sure you guys saw this coming, but we've made sure that you can do all this on Teachable within 2 to 3 minutes and all for free, right? And this is one of the things I loved about Teachable is, 1, all this stuff came with it. I had a beautiful site straight out of the box. Before I came on Teachable, I was learning on other courses, right? And eventually realized, they were on Teachable themselves. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, dude. Like, they look so good, but I didn't even notice like how similar they were, but they were on Teachable themselves and created by Teachable. And that's just awesome to see that other people are on it. I didn't realize how many sites were already on it when I got started. So what I like to do, and this is a little tactic we have, is I want you, when you're teaching your students, to get them to get quick wins and to make them take action when you are teaching them. So we're going to do this right now. I want you to start the process of creating your school. Take 15 seconds here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get started right now. I'm going to show you how fast this works right here. So we're going to go to teachable.com. Ooh, I can't type. Go to teachable.com right now. Joyce says 10 times, OMG. Go to teachable.com right now and click Try Teachable Free. So if you don't have a Teachable account yet, click Try Teachable Free. Just put in your email address. Get started. And then right here, put in your name, right? And your password, and pick a name for your Teachable school. You'll see in the fine print right below it. Don't worry, you can change this later. You can change your name later if you want to. You can change your password later if you want to, and you can change your Teachable school name if you want to. So I'm just going to call this, what do I want to teach today? Let's do the Karate Academy. Karate Academy. And create my school. This one might already have that because it's not that original. But you won't see this screen. Well, you may. If you see this screen and you're trying to reach your school that you've already created, click Yes, Login instead. For me, I've created a lot of Teachable schools because I do these webinars. So I'm going to say no, proceed with creating a school. Boom. And just like that, your school's being built in the background and you can access it. And I'll answer these questions so that we can better serve you. And hit enter my school, and just like that, your school's built, right? Let me answer, and then if you want to hang out with me again this week, I'll be on Teachable's Quick Start webinar where I show you exactly how to use Teachable. But if you need help anytime, click here. Okay, I've got it, that help button. See that? And we'll come through here and you go through exactly through these steps. Great onboarding, shows you exactly how to go through these steps. So one thing I'm going to do real quick is Hey, Tom. 2 Eastern. If you don't see anything, please refresh the page. All right, cool. So we have that win. Just once you go ahead and once you've done that, just go ahead and say done here over here in the chat, and I'm going to keep moving forward. All right. So this tells you how to do it. And then, of course, you see the nice onboarding screen, which we just saw, and we did these steps together. You're going to publish a course, customize school look and feel, set up your domain, and then you'll launch your school. And like magic, Teachable does have everything for you, right? It literally tells you exactly what steps to take. All you have to do is fill in the forms, and you have a course online. So step number 5, and I'm going to hurry up here. Pre-sell your course to test demand. I love this part. Pre-selling your course to test demand. This is huge, right? So I'm going to show you how to set up your landing page real quick right now so that you can test your course demand. So we're going to create a landing page just like that. But first, what I want to do is just go over what these things are. So what we want on our landing page, right, is we want a title. Title so people know exactly what transformation they're getting. Subtitle so we can go, a little bit more into depth, right? Use this course to escape a lifetime of soul-sucking jobs, find your calling, make your path, do work that matters, right? Just to add to the title, right? Then, of course, we want them to be able to pay for the course, to enroll in the course right then, pay for it, right? And this is even before, and remember, this is a test, this is a landing page, right? We're going to pre-sell, so you're not doing any work yet on your course, right? We want to test it before. Then, of course, watch promo. Promo videos are key. All they have to do is be like 1 minute. That way they can get a relationship with you, know what you're teaching, and learn a little bit more about your course and see that you are a real human on the other side, right? Then, of course, we want a description to know more about the course. We want to know about the instructor, and we want to be able to see what the class curriculum will be, right? Well, the good thing with this is that landing page was taught on Teachable, or was created on Teachable. See, told you I'd mess up some in this webinar, but created on Teachable, and it's literally just filling out the form, right? Just filling out the form, and then all that's generated by Teachable to create a beautiful site just like this. So we use Teachable to automatically generate the sales page, and literally when I did the sales page, it took me just a couple minutes. I got all the information from Charlie you wanted in here, I put it in, just like filling out a form, and then voila, it builds it just like that. Essentially fill in the blank template, right? And then, of course, you can always easily edit the sales page through our sales page editor, adding whatever you want, testimonial block if you want. So once you do this, once you go through that step, this is where you're going to send everyone when you start promoting your course. And again, this is before you create your content. This is why I say every week people go and do this tonight, right? They have this idea, they're excited for their profitable course idea, and they test this tonight. They create this landing page, and in just a couple minutes, they put it up, they get someone to enroll tonight, right? Bree was on this call. She pre-sold her course to 15 people at $290. Remember that 2X thing we talked about, right? She made over $4,000 before creating her course because her school was so beautiful. So you can see her testimony down here below. All I can say is, wow, I was able to pre-sell my online course to exactly what I just told you. In fact, my new students told me that my Fedora school was so beautiful, remember we used to be Fedora, that they could tell the course was going to be amazing. So in Dwight fashion, now I want to show you to get your first course for your online course. I'm going to show you here in a second, to get your first students for your online course. But first, I have a question. Who here already has an audience? Already have an audience? Anybody here already have an audience? Love it, guys. Done, done, done. Can see you. Yes, you can use different languages. We have a great feature on here that helps you use different languages. So, and just to let you guys know, when I first got started, I did not have an audience. I started from scratch, completely 0 people at all. So Raphael, Jaleesa, you guys already have an audience. Love it. That's awesome. All right, so if you already have an audience, that's incredible. If you don't, we're going to go through right now what you have to, you need to start building an audience. Build an initial interest list for your course. That's step number 6. So how do you do that? You build an email list, right? It's exactly what John and Elliott did to get their crazy number of sales, right? They had this idea. They taught people how to build, an app put up a free course, right, for this first app, right? And they were going to do their plan was to do a much bigger course with tons of apps, right? But they put up this free course. They got people to sign up for it. They started building that email list, and then when they were ready to go for a bigger course, well, I'll tell you about that in a sec. But they put up that free course, started building their email list now. So what these instructors did, Charlie did it. I worked with him on that. You know, Angela Fair, she's followed exactly what we were saying. Assad's done it. Jessica Sprague's done it. So to build your initial email list, all you need to do is follow a very simple formula. You need to give away free value in exchange for someone's email address. So this is what I was trying to explain how John and Elliot did, but I wasn't doing a good job just a second ago because I was getting ahead of myself. So John and Elliot, you know, they had this idea to teach online, right? To teach iPhone programming. So they built a smaller course and gave it away for free, right? They got lucky and ended up having, like, I can't remember, something like 50,000 students, Encore would know better, in their course, right? And then when it was time to launch their course, they then had this huge email list to promote to. Those results aren't normal. When I followed steps that Conrad taught me, I got 3,000 students. I've had other people tell me they got around 2,000. Someone said 5,000. So all around there, right? And then once you have this email list, so how to do it is like, so you have a course, how to plant a tomato garden, right? You might have 10 modules, right? You might have 10 modules in here. Just pick out like 1 or 2 and make that your free course, just like John and Elliot did. They had this huge course idea in mind. I had this huge course idea in mind when I got started, and then I created, you know, gave away 1 or 2 modules for free in exchange for an email list, okay? And when you do this, what happens is that you can instantly put hundreds or thousands of happy students in your free mini course in days and build a great audience, right? I had 3,000, John only had like 50,000, right? Usually anywhere from like 1 to 5 is pretty normal, which is great. And then they come into your course and you deliver a ton of value and start building a relationship with you, right? They realize that you're a great teacher, they love you, and then you can even use their feedback while they're in the course for testimonials, also to find out, you know, what you can do to make your course even better. And then from doing that, you have an instant audience to buy your paid course. So as I said before, it's exactly what, John and Elliot did. You know, they had 50 people signed up for their free course, and then they marketed that free course, or they marketed their paid course to those 50,000 people in their free course, inviting them to a $149 course. And just from that one email, they generated over $150,000 for the next month. Now that's not, again, those are incredible results, but these are the possibilities, right? Angela's results are more, more common, where she did the same exact process. And I think the first month she made about $3,000, right? Now, but that's the beauty in this, is that's from starting from scratch, right? That's from starting without an audience at all, which is incredible, right? If you're starting without an audience at all, to be able to get to 3,000 in just 1 month, that's awesome. And then step number 7 is the fun part, right? That's where we start making a lot of money. Generate your first course sales. So you have this email list, right? All you have to do is reach out to them. Write an email that links to your course, your paid course, and get that, and get them in there and make money off that email list that you generated in less than 1 to 2 weeks, right? And you have your first chunk of sales right there, right? Pretty incredible, right? And then, of course, you can go on after that, do webinars like we're doing right here, guest posts on blogs, deal websites, email, personal network, partnerships, all that stuff. All right, real cool. So real quick, as we're going through these, what's one thing, what did you love? What is the big takeaway you had today? So we can drip feed modules. Can see that is coming in a little bit. Can't see. What was the big takeaway? So everybody just put on here, what was the one big thing you learned today? I'd love to hear, what you guys thought about those 7 steps. Jaleesa, I'm going to show you how to get that answered here in a second. And Raphael helped as well. What is the one big takeaway that you got? For me, I personally love, there you go, Matt. That's always a big one, just to get started, right? And that you can do it. I personally love step 3, right? The course content creation, because in the beginning, I felt like that was the big hassle for me. Like, oh, I actually have to create this. And then when realized this idea of the outline and the steps, right? It made it so much easier for me because you're just taking the students on a journey of transformation to get, or a journey to get them to that transformation. Jalisa says, definitely the way to set up the course, the outline. Awesome, Jalisa. That's how I feel too. Raphael, pre-sell a course. I have all the content, but I need to sell it for. Yeah, I love to pre-sell courses, Raphael, because, you know, sometimes, you know, people aren't interested in what we're trying to create, or at least, you know, we might need to rehone our sites a little bit, right? And you don't want to take a lot of time and then realize, oh man, I never tested it and pre-sold it. All right, cool. So we've taken this time, you know, showing you all about like how to be successful, the 7-step process, right, to get you to success teaching online, right? And the truth of the matter is, you know, this is me trying to cram all this in 60 minutes, right? We did this in exactly 60 minutes since we started 10 minutes late, and there's so much more that I could talk to you about, right? Well, what I want you to do is show you this, is to be able to give you this information, all this extra information that we couldn't cover today. And when you're trying to teach online, you need 3 things. We have 2 things here. I like to say 3 things, but the reason why we don't have the third is because the third is, you know, you need to have the desire, which you guys showed you already have because you're here and you're still on the call, right? You have the desire to be successful teaching online. Step number 2, a way to create an amazing online course, which in the past, you know, I've gone through this process trying to find platforms that work, build my own, whatever. You know, it's been terrible. But now with Teachable, we have this amazing platform where you can build online schools, online courses fast, they're beautiful, and they're only at a fraction of the cost, right? They're just a small payment each month, and even with a free plan. Then of course you need 3, you need a proven plan to follow from people who have done it before. You can be like me and be stubborn and try to do it on your own, right? And work 12-hour days, or you can just learn from people who have already done it before what works, right? And that's what's so great about all these analytics we have and these relationships we have with our best teachers. We know what works. And so we want, you know, all of our new instructors to be successful. So we've created this special Teachable bundle. Now, every one of you who upgraded the Teachable Professional or Basic plan today is are gonna get these bonuses, right? So these are our special offers. So we have 2 plans here at Teachable that I want to talk about today. The first one is the Professional plan. With the Professional plan, you get unlimited courses and students. You get 100% customizable look and feel. You get custom domain, learner progress tracking, full e-commerce to accept payments, email marketing, advanced reporting, and you get a fully white labeled solution. So these people that I was taking courses with before I came on to Teachable, that I didn't know they were using Teachable, it's because they were on this Professional plan, right? They had a fully white labeled solution, so it made it look like it was them. BitFountain was one of them. I was actually learning from John and Elliot before I came on to Teachable, and like, oh, they're on Teachable when I got on here, right? Professional is $99 a month, and then we also have the Basic plan. So the Basic plan's awesome too. You know, you get unlimited courses and students, 100% customizable look and feel, get that custom domain that's ever so important, the learner progress tracking, the full e-commerce to accept payments, the email marketing. However, you don't get the advanced reporting, you don't get the fully white labeled solution, you don't get like the ability to have multiple teachers, all that good stuff, but it's good as well, right? And so when you upgrade to either the Basic or the Professional plan, the 2 plans I just went over, today you're gonna get these valuable bonuses. So number 1 is the $1 Million Instructor course. I talked to you a little bit about it earlier, but basically it's the course we put together with John and Elliot that literally takes you from 0 to success, right? It tells you, you know, they put together the exact blueprint of exactly what they did to go from having 0 audience to being successful. Well, for them making millions of dollars teaching online, right? Which is incredible. And so if you're serious about wanting to teach online, this will literally take you, you know, tell you all about how to build your audience, how to create your content. That's earlier when I was talking about the studio setup. They're gonna show you exactly how to do that as well. So you can see it here again, right? $2 million in the first year they taught online. So you're gonna get the $1 Million Instructor. You're also gonna get the marketing playbook, the quick start guide to 1,000 students. So for those of you that have no audience, this is huge. This I actually was lucky enough to get from Conrad when I first started teaching online, and I followed the Reddit lesson and ended up getting, like, that's how I got, you know, 3,200 students in less than 3 days, right? And they're just gonna show you a bunch of different strategies you can use and different media tactics and channels you can hit to get those first, you know, 1,000+ students, right? Then of course you're gonna get our VIP email course, the Profitable Course Idea. So basically this is gonna go into more depth, step 1. step one. And of course, he also goes into the pre-sell section, right? It's going to go more in depth of how to find your profitable course idea. So if you didn't come away with your profitable course idea all around the call today, this is really going to hone in and show you even, go into more specific of exactly how to do that. And then of course, the complete step-by-step guide to setting up your own recording studio. John and Elliot are going to show you how to do that on a budget. So with inexpensive setup to make your setup look very professional, right? And the great thing about these bonuses is that we're not giving you like a timer on them. Like you don't have to be done with them, within a month, right? So you can go through these, you get to keep them forever. They easily fit into your schedule, even if you're busy. So all you have to do is watch the videos, do the action items we tell you, and ask questions. Take action and get results. So I don't want to sell short that you actually do, of course, as Matt said, take action, right? And just get started and do the action. If you don't do the action, of course, you're not going to get the results. Take the actions we suggest and you will be successful. So everyone that upgrades to the basic plan today will receive those bonuses. For those of you that upgrade to the professional plan, you're going to get those bonuses. Plus, you're also going to get 8 weeks of Teachable's live group coaching calls. So I do this every Friday, and people come on the call. We chat for like 45 minutes, and it's like a mastermind group, right? People come on, even if they don't have questions, just because they want to hear other people's questions. They want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals, people who have been there before, and they want to learn from them. So it's 8 weeks. It's a great call every week. It's like a mastermind group. And then you're also going to get 2 free hours of concierge onboarding so that myself or one of our ambassadors can help set everything up for you. They're going to show you exactly, or I will, how to use the system and, get you all set up so that you hit the ground running and you have no hiccups with Teachable, right? And then of course, with all this, you're getting the exact system that myself, Angela Fair, John and Elliot, and hundreds of Teachable's instructors have used to grow their online course business, right? To go from 0 to success, right? So today, usually, if you purchased all this separately, it would total up to over $1,900, which you can purchase separately if you want. And some people have done it in the past until they realized we had this offer, right? But they've done it in the past. We usually sell $1 million instructor for like $200, $300. But when you upgrade today, right, for the Teachable professional or basic plan, you're going to get all these bonuses for free. So all you have to do is hit the button below, right? Hit this button right below. Where's it at? Purchase the bundle and join us. That button below, and you get set up. And I'm going to show you exactly how to go through if we have any trouble here in a second, but I'm almost done because it actually does get better. What we're giving you is 100% money back guarantee, right? This is the best guarantee we can give you. So you take 30 days and go through everything, right? Download this stuff, go through it, set up your school, and if by the end of that time you decide it's still not right for you, let me know and we'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. I love that pineapple. Someone once told me pineapple resembles or means just do it, or some symbol of just do it or something like that, or get started in the Hawaiian culture. So that's why that pineapple's there. And if you ask for this refund, right? No questions asked, we'll give you a full refund. You can still keep all the videos, bonuses, and downloads. So this is essentially 100% risk-free. Let me go back. You can still keep all the videos, bonuses, and downloads. Look, we know life happens. You have the best of intentions to be successful teaching online, and maybe a couple weeks from now, you're like, man, I haven't even got around to looking at those downloads or setting up school. I've been so busy. And you're like, maybe I shouldn't have gone for that, or I just don't have the time right now to teach online. We'll let you keep all that stuff, right? Get a refund, keep all that stuff, because we know, 4 months from now, 6 months from now, when you come back and you're like, oh, I want to try teaching online. I have more time now, right? We know if you go through that stuff and follow it, you're going to be successful. We know you're going to choose Teachable because in our minds, in our opinion, and what our instructors say is we are the best solution out there on the market. So click the button below, upgrade now, and you'll get all these bonuses sent to you automatically, but it still gets better than this. I promise you it's the last one. Everyone on the webinar, so for the next 10, 15 minutes, right, while I answer any questions you have, who signs up is going to get a special fast action bonus. You have 10 minutes to sign up. You're going to get 8 behind the scenes course marketing case studies. So basically, these are the 8 big fish, people making 6, 7 figures, right? Encore went and interrogate them, made them sit down, pick their brain for exactly what makes them successful. So they spill their tips and tricks. And if you just take one of these or 2 of these from just one of the 8 people, right, you're going to be successful. Like, they have some great ideas here in these interviews. Total value on that's $199. And then you're also going to get 8 recordings of our live training workshops from the Teachable Virtual Summit. So on quarantine, put together this incredible summit right around the Thanksgiving holidays with all these professional, successful people teaching online, right? And they're successful. We have Mariah Coslin here with webinars. Everyone's successful. They're very specific webinars on certain things, everything from Pinterest marketing to webinars to growing your audience, and really deep dive into these topics. So these 2 bonuses are incredibly valuable from pros that are killing it teaching online. And today, when you upgrade to the professional or basic plan, you're going to get all these bonuses for free, right? Usually it'd be over $2,000 if you wanted to buy them separate, but you're getting them for free today. You've already seen Bree's testimony, so I won't go over it again. You have Angela here, of course, as well. She's awesome. She followed this and made $1,000 a month. You have Alan Perlman here. He says, and he did all this, followed it, and then less than 72 hours, and he already had over $6,000 in sales, right? And you have Mariah Cos, of course. She jumped on the platform. She's awesome with her entrepreneur. I always have trouble saying that word. For the past 3 years, 95% of my income has come from online courses. They are literally the perfect product. They're scalable, passive, fun to make, and you can help a ton of people. And now online courses are the only thing I'll spend time making. So again, upgrade in the next 10 minutes and you'll get all these bonuses, including the fast action bonuses. If you upgrade to professional, you're gonna get all those bonuses plus the ones in blue all the way at the bottom, right? 8 weeks of live group coaching and the concierge onboarding. So just click the button below. And once you click the button below, it's gonna take you to this screen. And as you upgrade, just go ahead and say, upgrade in the chat. That way we can welcome you. And I love to meet our new instructors, right? So you're gonna get taken to this screen. Then you choose your plan. And if you didn't take the step with me earlier and create your school, go ahead and do that now and create the school, and it'll take you to the upgrade button. If you did do that step with me earlier, you go ahead and put in the exact information you put in earlier, right? And click login. So if you already have a school created, you're gonna do the login process. And while we're waiting on that, I think this is my computer, but anyways, Jaleesa asked, is this very different from Udemy? Jaleesa, Udemy is a marketplace. So yeah, that's what happened to me too, Paulo. Let's see, let's try it one more time. I'm getting our devs on it. Check it out real quick. Jaleesa, Udemy is a marketplace. So bonuses of that is they get people to your course, right? You can get your course up there to a lot of people. The cons of that are as media, they're a marketplace once again, so you don't get to keep near as much, maybe 50%. Many times it was like 75%, right? You don't get to keep near as much, 25% of your sales. Plus, as soon as someone's put into your course, they're immediately marketed to your competitors' courses, right? Like, oh, you liked this course, try these other courses, right? That are the same topics, so there are your competitors' courses. You don't own your students' contact information, right? It's just like if you have followers on Facebook, right? But even with Udemy, you have even more rules of when you contact them, as well as, for the most part, to be successful on Udemy, you have to be a part of what they call their premium instructors, which is just a fancy way of saying that, as you said, everything is discounted, right? That's how they get people in there. So a lot of times when I first started and I put my course in there, my $100 course got sold for like $5, $10. But again, the bonus is that they get a ton of people. All right, let me see. Try this one more time. It's really weird. Never done this before. All right, who else is still on here? Can see you. Can see you. We already, you mentioned that we can take payments. How? So it's already built in automatically to Teachable. You put in your payment details and settings, your payout details and settings, and you can, and we'll pay you out immediately, right? But we already have it all set up so that you can, getting payments is automatic. Paulo, sorry about it still spinning. I'm figuring this out. Okay, so we're just gonna go to teachable.com/pricing instead and go that route. Right, exactly. Can see we have that all built in so that you don't have to worry about it, right? No headaches. That's part of the annoying is getting all that set up as well. What are some other questions I'm seeing? Can see you. His name's great. You asked about drip feed. It'll be all drip feed will be automatically, put into Teachable. It's the next big feature coming, so it should be, in the next couple months. You can do it manually right now if you want. There's some other questions. Any other questions, guys, while we're working on this login? Raphael, you were able to upgrade? You said got the bundle? If you're having any trouble upgrading, let me actually make sure on this. Jimmy, there we go. Jimmy, completely understandable. When you first come in and you hear something, a lot of times you type it in and you're like, oh, dang, I was supposed to put my name in there. So that's fine, no big deal. Raphael, that's awesome. So Raphael upgraded. Welcome, Raphael, great. For the rest of you guys, I'm still working on how to get this login working. I've never had this problem before. Let me see. It's weird. Okay. All right, so for those of you that want to upgrade, just email support@teachable.com and we'll get it all taken care of for you. And for the rest, while you're doing that as well, any other questions I'd love to answer for you guys. And yeah, as Andrew said, just send that email into support@teachable.com and we'll make sure to get everything taken care of for you. We'll get you the bonuses and everything so you don't have to worry about that. And I've gone through a lot of these bonuses. They really are quality stuff. I'm not one to usually promote things because I hate being salesy, but they are great stuff. And if we don't have any questions coming in, I'm not seeing any questions. You guys seem to have it together. Thank you so much for taking your time being on this webinar. Sorry for the technical difficulties there at the beginning with my camera. But I'm glad everything worked, and I think we had a great time. I know I had a great time, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the webinar. Paulo, that's awesome. Welcome to Teachable. Great to have you on, and our support team's incredible. They'll get you all set up and hooked up with all the bonuses and set up with your school. So, guys, thank you all so much. Oh, there we go. I have a question. All right, I'll wait just a second. So, Julissa, drip content. it's all good, is, whenever you have, say you wanted to do a 4-week course, right? And you wanted to release the content each week. So I want to release the first module week 1, second week 2, week 3, week 4, right? That's drip content, right? Or some people call it gated content, yada, yada, yada. Right now, we have it set up where you can manually do it. Like if you start a course on January 1st, you can publish lessons at certain weeks. But soon we're going to have it where you automatically drip content. In other words, when someone comes in, they will, only have access to a certain amount of lessons for, in the first stage of time, and then the next amount, yada, yada. So that feature is coming. Raphael, the payment gateway. Yeah, the payment gateway is different. All the payments automatically set up for so Raphael, to answer your question, at the high volume level and the enterprise level, what the payment gateways are is that you get paid automatic, like immediately. So as soon as someone makes a purchase, you get paid right then, right? Now at the basic and professional and free level, you get paid net 30. So you still have payment gateway, you still have the payout settings, but so everything you sell in February, you're going to get paid April 1st. The way to do that, to give them access for only 30 days, is to set it as a subscription. And that way, after 30 days, they'd have to pay to get access for it another 30 days. All right, any other questions, guys? I'm not seeing any come in. So thank you guys so much for being on this call. And, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your Tuesday here.